Have you ever wondered what could possibly make a narcissist, those who wear their arrogance like armor, exude a confidence so excessive it borders on tyranny, and manipulate others with the precision of an artist, shrink in fear before a silent adversary? Don't be so quick to dismiss this as pure fantasy. As a psychologist who has dissected the essence of narcissism through thousands of real-life stories, I'm about to take you on a gripping revelation. The quiet power strong enough to shake their grandiose empire to its very core. This isn't just a lecture, it's the key to understanding why some people not only survive narcissists, but utterly dismantle them right on their own playing field. Subscribe now so you won't miss a single truth bomb, and join me on this journey. Narcissistic abuse isn't just something you read about in textbooks. It lurks in the dark corners of life, in the fake affection of romantic love, the phony handshakes in friendships, the venomous whispers within families, and the insincere smiles at the office. Narcissists are masters of the psychological game. They lure you in with charm, then gradually suffocate you with control, doubt, and mind games so subtle, you begin to question where you went wrong. If you've ever felt trapped, manipulated, or even questioned your own worth, I've got good news. There is a way out, and it begins with recognizing a power you may have forgotten you possess. I'm about to reveal 6 ways a super empath takes down a narcissist with sharp precision, psychological strikes, and a depth of insight that will not only help you understand, but fully prepare you for battle. This isn't dry theory. These are real tools for confronting and overcoming toxic relationships. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover may completely transform how you see yourself and the person who once terrified you. Ready? Let's begin. 1. Protect yourself with boundaries sharp as blades. The first power of the super empath is not something to be underestimated. It is their ability to establish razor-sharp, non-negotiable boundaries that not only protect but also challenge the narcissist head-on. These aren't soft-spoken words or empty threats. They're iron lines, firm and unbreakable, like fortress walls no narcissist dares to cross. If you've ever been tormented by a narcissist to the point where you forgot who you were, if your heart has bled from kindness being exploited, then listen closely. I understand that pain, and today I'll show you how the super empath turns that very pain into a weapon. Don't forget to hit subscribe so we can uncover these battle-tested tools together, because you deserve your freedom. The super empath's boundaries are not the product of explosive anger or trembling fear. They are forged in deep self-awareness and an unshakable belief in their own worth, the kind that a narcissist cannot distort. They don't need applause to know their value. They know that their sensitivity, compassion, and sincerity are not free passes for narcissists to walk in and tear them apart. While the average person might hesitate, might fold, under pressure, the super empath stands tall, draws a red line, and declares, "This is where it ends, not one step further." That resolve is not just a shield, it's a blade that severs every manipulative scheme. Look at how narcissists attack. They are predators, drawn to the scent of kindness like sharks to blood. They demand your attention endlessly, push you past your limits, and use your generosity to inflate their fragile egos. Sound familiar? That friend who calls you at midnight to unload their drama, yet disappears when you're in need. The one who guilt trips you with lines like, "Why are you being so selfish?" just to make you cave in. Most people break down. They fear confrontation, fear being labeled cold, but the super empath doesn't play that game. When the narcissist tries to cross the line, demanding your time, your energy, your peace, the response is one word: no. No lengthy explanations, no sugarcoating, just a cold, clean no, sharp enough to silence a narcissist. Picture this: Jade, a boss who constantly demands unpaid overtime, then guilt trips you with, "You clearly don't care about the team." A super empath sees this trap from miles away. They don't engage in pointless arguments. They simply say, "I will fulfill what's in my job description, nothing more." And they stand firm, no matter how much Jade whines or rages. What makes this powerful? Because boundaries are a narcissist's worst nightmare. They thrive by exploiting weakness, by poking holes in your compassion. But with a super empath, there are no holes to exploit. Psychology backs this up. Strong, healthy boundaries don't just protect your soul, they build resilience. And the super empath turns that into a way of life. The narcissist fears these boundaries because they strip away the power they rely on to survive. Without access to your mind, they become powerless, panicked like a predator watching its last prey escape. With a super empath, the narcissist isn't just up against a wall. They're staring into the unwavering face of resistance. You can't control me. But don't stop here. Join me as we move on to the fourth strategy and see how the super empath continues to dismantle the narcissist's illusion. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever set a boundary with someone? I want to hear your story. To Seen Through the Narcissist with Razor-Sharp Intuition. The super empath possesses a weapon the narcissist could never even dream of. Razor-sharp intuition, so precise, it slices straight through the carefully constructed facade they wear. This isn't some vague hunch or lucky guess. It's a sixth sense, forged in fire, refined through scars left by life and narcissists alike. As a psychologist who has witnessed the collapse of hundreds of narcissistic dramas, I tell you this: super empaths don't just look, they see, they detect deception in the smallest cracks, in the subtle cues that most people dismiss like a passing breeze. If you've ever been pulled into the vortex of a narcissist, doubted your own instincts because of sweet-sounding lies, this part is for you. Hit that subscribe button and join me in stripping away the layers of masks. You deserve to know the truth. Think about how narcissists set their traps. They start with love bombing, a tired tactic yet disturbingly effective. They shower you with honeyed compliments, drown you in attention, make you feel like the center of their universe, with actions so meticulously crafted you'd think you're living in a dream. Their goal? To numb your mind and make you believe this is rare, genuine love. But for the super empath, the illusion collapses from the start. They don't just listen to what you say. They notice your averted eyes, your slightly off-pitch tone, the way your hand clenches unnaturally, a fake smile, a phrase that's too smooth. The super empath, these are blazing red flags caught in an instant. Picture this. You meet John, a seemingly kind stranger who suddenly showers you with constant texts, endless compliments, and magically shows up every time you're at your most vulnerable. An average person might melt, thinking, finally, someone who truly gets me. But the super empath doesn't rush. They pause and ask, why does this feel too perfect? What's hiding behind this polished curtain? They dissect. Psychology proves that over 90% of communication is nonverbal. Eye contact, gestures, breathing patterns. And the super empath is an artist in reading those invisible lines. They don't just detect, they respond, maintaining just enough distance to observe without being pulled into the chaos. This ability is powerful because it exposes the narcissist's very foundation, a life built on lies and glittering illusions. Narcissists believe their charm, their overwhelming confidence is untouchable, that no one would dare question their self-appointed greatness. But when a super empath enters the scene, the illusion crumbles. They see clearly that John doesn't love you. He loves the reflection of himself in your admiration. And when the super empath refuses to be that mirror, the narcissist panics. They fear the super empath's intuition because it strikes their deepest vulnerability, the fear of exposure, the terror of being seen as empty behind the mask. This isn't just defense, it's declaration. The super empath uses intuition to protect themselves and to send a clear message to the narcissist: you can't fool me. Psychological studies show that reading nonverbal cues doesn't just heighten awareness, it also anchors you against manipulative pressure. And the super empath turns that into a superpower. 3, exposing the narcissist for justice, the unquenchable fire. The third power of the super empath lies in their ability to expose the narcissist in the name of justice. Not out of ego or petty revenge, but to shatter the illusion, to protect not only themselves, but also other souls suffering under the grip of manipulation. This is a fire that burns not from hatred, but from an ironclad belief. Lies must not be allowed to continue causing pain. As a psychologist who has witnessed the deep wounds narcissists leave in their victims, I tell you, the super empath is not just a survivor. They are a warrior of truth. If you've ever felt helpless against a narcissist or watched them crush others while no one dared speak up, this is for you. Hit that subscribe button and let's ignite the fire of justice together. You are not alone. The super empath sees through the narcissist's glittering shell and recognizes the real monster. a being selfish to the core, willing to trample on emotions, trusts, even lives, just to maintain their self-appointed throne. They cannot stand by while the narcissist manipulates with smooth lies and strangles vulnerable spirits with their silent, toxic games. While most people may choose to stay silent to avoid conflict or chaos, the super empath does not choose silence. They step forward, not loud, not dramatic, but with a terrifying calm, and begin to unveil the truth, piece by piece, like a surgeon removing a malignant tumor. Imagine this. In a group of coworkers, there's someone like Trang, always spinning false stories to paint herself as the hero, always shifting blame when things go wrong, smiling sweetly while planting seeds of doubt among others. Most people might retreat, afraid of being isolated or targeted next, but not the super empath. They don't play the avoidance game. They step up and calmly point out the holes in Trang's story. No yelling, no drama, just sharp questions like, "Didn't you say something different last week?" The truth begins to surface, and the mask starts to crack. They don't do it out of rage. They do it because they know that if no one speaks, others will keep suffering. But the super empath's justice doesn't end with confrontation. They reach out to those left shattered, friends, coworkers, family members, trapped in a web of manipulation, unsure how to escape. They listen with deep understanding. They guide with battle-earned wisdom, and they help broken hearts realize they are not alone. Think of someone who has lost faith in themselves after narcissistic abuse. The super empath doesn't just expose the narcissist, they take the victim's hand and help them rise step by step to reclaim the power that was stolen. This is the true value, not just tearing down evil, but rebuilding what was destroyed. Why does the narcissist fear this power so much? Because their entire empire is built on sand, a false image they believe to be untouchable. But when the super empath brings the truth into the light, that illusion shatters like glass. They can no longer play the victim or the hero once everyone sees their true nature, an insecure, hollow being thriving on the suffering of others. Psychological studies reveal that facing the truth reduces a narcissist's manipulative power by up to 70%, and the super empath brings that number to life. Have you ever seen someone wounded by a narcissist? Share it in the comments. I'd love to break it down with you. And once the truth has been revealed, the super empath is already prepared for the fourth strategy. Let's keep going. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss what comes next. 4, defeating the narcissist with patience, the silent yet fatal strike. The fourth power of the super empath is the ability to defeat the narcissist with patience. Not the weak endurance of a passive victim, but a sharp, calculated resolve that lets the narcissist trip over their own arrogance. This isn't a dramatic showdown like in the movies. This is a slow dance, a quiet tango where the super empath leads while the narcissist doesn't even realize they're being played. As a psychologist who has studied the power games of narcissists deeply, I assure you, this is the art of letting the narcissist dig their own grave. If you're trying to navigate a narcissist in your life, hit subscribe and let's go deeper. This content is original, fair use compliant, and made just for you. Narcissists feed on immediate reactions. They crave emotional explosions from you like an addict needs a fix. They provoke you with cruel criticism, exaggerate your flaws, and throw out ridiculous accusations, all to bait you into a fight they've already scripted. Most people fall for it. They yell, they argue, they try to prove themselves. And that's exactly what the narcissist wants. Every outburst, every defense fuels their manipulation. But the super empath doesn't fall for that cheap trap. They remain still, eyes cold and observant, letting time become their greatest ally. This patience isn't random, it's the pinnacle of emotional intelligence. The super empath understands that a narcissist cannot survive in silence. They need attention like a fish needs water. They need your reaction to feel in control. But when the super empath withholds that reaction, the narcissist begins to panic. They may ramp up the provocation, louder, meaner, but the unshakable calm of the super empath makes them look like a child throwing a tantrum. Over time, this desperation erodes their credibility. Their words become hollow, their actions absurd, and people around them start to turn away. Why does the narcissist fear this power so deeply? because they cannot manipulate someone who refuses to dance to their tune. The super empath's patience is a maze the narcissist can't navigate. It disorients them, unsettles them, and their growing helplessness eats away at them from the inside. Psychological studies show that lack of response reduces narcissistic manipulation effectiveness by up to 60%, and the super empath exploits that to the fullest. 5. Super empath truth, the invisible sword that shatters illusion. In the hands of a super empath, truth is not just a lofty ideal hanging in textbooks. It is a sharp sword, forged from keen observation, deep empathy, and an intuition so piercing it makes the narcissist flinch. When a narcissist weaves their web of deception to manipulate others or mask their ugly truth, the super empath doesn't need to strain to see. They feel it. The inconsistencies in their words, the contradictions in their behavior, the eerie emptiness behind their confidence, none of it escapes the super empath's radar. They don't need to shout or point fingers. Sometimes a single calm question, a piercing look, or a loaded silence is all it takes to make the narcissist tremble inside their arrogant armor. As a psychologist who has dissected narcissism through hundreds of real stories, I can tell you, this is a silent power, but one that cuts straight to the core. Subscribe now to explore it with me. This content is original, fair use compliant, and made for you. Imagine this in a group meeting, someone like Huyen twists the truth to claim victory, fabricating stories to make you look bad. While others might panic or lash out, the super empath remains calm as still water. Then, with a soft voice, they say, "Wait, didn't you say something different last week?" One forgotten detail in the entire castle of lies collapses like a sandcastle in the tide. What makes this terrifying isn't just that it exposes the narcissist, it's that it affirms the super empath's core value. They don't act from hatred or vengeance, but from a deep belief that truth is the backbone of every relationship worth having. They don't just protect themselves, they protect everyone else from being dragged into the narcissist's web of deceit. This power shines in real life. Think of someone like Huyen, the gossip spreader who ruins others' reputations just to preserve her perfect image. While most stay silent out of fear, the super empath steps forward, not to attack, but to restore justice. They bring forward one undeniable truth, one piece of irrefutable evidence, and that's all it takes to extinguish the flames of manipulation. This doesn't just free the victim from self-doubt. It sends a thunderous message: lies have no place in my world. Psychology shows that revealing the truth reduces a narcissist's control by up to 65%. And the super empath makes that statistic real. Every single day, the narcissist fears this because their entire existence depends on illusion. They thrive on admiration and surface-level power to mask the deep insecurity and selfishness rooted in their core. When the super empath exposes those hidden cracks, the desperate need for validation, the empty promises that never materialize, the narcissist is forced to confront their true self, the very thing they fear most. In the workplace, a narcissistic boss might crumble when a super empath quietly points out broken promises in front of the team, watching their credibility vanish like morning mist. Ever seen someone exposed like that? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to analyze it with you. The super empath doesn't wield truth to destroy, they wield it to reshape the world. They are lighthouses in the storm of deception, proving that true strength doesn't lie in manipulation or glittering facades. It lies in the courage to live authentically. From families and friendships to broader society, they are the wind that clears away the fog, leaving behind clarity and fairness. And the narcissist, no matter how grand their illusion, cannot stand before the invisible blade of truth. Now let's move on to the final strategy. Turn on the notification bells so you won't miss it. 6. Super empath mastering emotions, the steel wall the narcissist can't penetrate. One of the super empath's most formidable weapons is their ability to stand unshaken in the eye of the emotional storm that narcissists so skillfully create. Narcissists are masters of psychological warfare, from gaslighting you into questioning your own memory, to stirring conflict to keep you confused, or even attacking your confidence to reduce you into a dependent mess. But the super empath is no easy prey. They possess a rare strength, the ability to maintain unshakable calm, no matter what tactic the narcissist throws. As a psychologist who has examined narcissism from every angle, I tell you, this is the art of emotional mastery. And if you want to learn how to fight back, subscribe now. This is original content, fair use compliant, and created for you. The super empath doesn't let emotions lead them like a puppet in the narcissist drama. While others may erupt in anger, spiral into anxiety, or collapse under the pressure, the super empath takes another path. They don't react impulsively. They pause, breathe, and observe with ice-cold clarity. They know that emotional outbursts are exactly what the narcissist craves. Reactions give the narcissist the fuel to keep pulling the strings. But the super empath doesn't play that game. They dissect every move, every word, reading the narcissist like an open book, turning calm into an impenetrable shield. Imagine this. You're dealing with someone like a narcissist, twisting the truth to provoke you, accusing you of something ridiculous just to watch you unravel. Most people would rush to argue, to explain, to fight back. But the super empath doesn't budge, not a flinch. Maybe they respond with a cool, quiet, "Is that so? I remember it differently." No shouting, no sparring. They let Lynn trip over her own web of lies. This patience isn't weakness, it's emotional intelligence at its peak. The super empath knows when silence reveals the narcissist's true nature, when to speak to end the game, and when to draw a steel boundary to protect themselves. This leaves the narcissist completely cornered. They thrive on emotional vulnerability, but with the super empath, there are no cracks to slip through. When Lynn doesn't get the meltdown she hoped for, she panics, escalates, but the more she tries, the more desperate she looks. Psychology shows that lack of emotional response reduces narcissistic manipulation effectiveness by 70%. And the super empath turns that into reality. Like, they don't just survive, they make the narcissist feel like they're punching air, powerless and defeated before they even land a blow. Have you ever had someone try to drag you into a psychological game? Share your story in the comments. I want to break it down with you. And so we've reached the end of our journey through the extraordinary powers of the super empath. From the razor-sharp intuition that cuts through lies, the unwavering patience that lets the narcissist self-destruct, to the emotional mastery that turns them into an impenetrable steel wall. This isn't just a story of survival, it's a declaration of how one person can rise, face the darkness, and triumph over those who seem untouchable. Narcissists may believe they hold all the power with their glittering facades and manipulation tactics, but when the super empath enters the scene, their entire world trembles. Not through shouting, but through truth, calm, and an unshakable courage. Do you see yourself in what I've just shared? Maybe you've been caught in a narcissist web, questioned your own worth, or longed to break free without losing who you are. I'm here to tell you, you are not alone. And the power of the super empath is not some distant dream. It lives within you, waiting to be awakened. Every time you choose truth over lies, every time you stand firm on your boundaries, every time you refuse to play by their script, you move one step closer to becoming a true super empath. This isn't just a personal victory, it's a spark that lights the way for others still suffering in silence. Let this journey be your beginning. Don't just watch and forget, apply it, test it, and prove that a narcissist can never control a soul that knows its worth. I want to hear your story. How did you face a narcissist? How did you rise above it? Share in the comments below. I'll read every one and break it down with you. And don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because this is just the first step in unlocking your inner power. We're not stopping at understanding narcissists. We're learning to rise above them, step by step, day by day. Together, we'll turn truth into the ultimate weapon, and no narcissist will be able to stand against its fire. I'll see you in the next video. Get ready.